Hey, Jim Bergman with MeasureQuick. Wanted to take a few minutes today and go over a new product we came out with, the MeasureQuick trainers. And after doing this for about 10 years, we have found our biggest bottleneck in the whole MeasureQuick process is training. And so we wanted to build trainers that would do a couple of things. Number one, compact, something easy to roll around, a nice showpiece for a training room, but also something that will allow you to fully show every element of what MeasureQuick can do. So these trainers have integrated faults in them. We have a display so you can put up your iPhone or your iPad. This looks really great, fills up the whole screen with an iPad. But the idea is everybody in your company can see what's going on, and you can run a technician through the full process of MeasureQuick, profiling the system, and then you can do things like setting the airflow, checking charge, whatever things that you might need to do. So let me show you a couple of features on this trainer because I think these are what make these unique. We built these with train units, and these were actually used in the Service Titan competition. And the cool thing is that even though we brought in some of the best people in the country, there wasn't a single technician that figured out all the faults. Now, I'm not saying that we built these to fool technicians, because we didn't. We built them to train technicians, and train technicians specifically on how to use MeasureQuick. And the interesting thing is that it proved how much the software is needed in the industry, because the software picked up the diagnostic before the technicians even had a second to figure out what was wrong. So, well, let me show you a couple things that we did. So number one, these train units, what I like here is that these have the reversing valve on the outside of the outdoor coil. So this is a true discharge line. I can get a probe on here, measure discharge pressure. I can get to my true suction line, get to my suction, measure the suction temperature. It makes it really easy to do. It's not this easy on a lot of heat pumps. I've got my outdoor air probe over here, and then I've got a couple things here. If you look at these lines coming up here, we've got a ball valve in the liquid line, and that's so we can create a liquid line restriction. We have a ball valve up here in the suction line to create a suction line restriction, so we can show how those suction lines and liquid lines, if they're kinked, impact operation of the system. We have dampers up here so we can show what happens if we have high static on the system, so we can create a high static pressure situation or low airflow. You can hear the fan speed up and do those kind of things. Through the train application, we can actually open and close the EEV, so we can show in these sight glasses here what it looks like when liquid's coming back and going back into the vapor line and into the compressor. We can show what happens when what it looks like when we have an undercharge or overcharge by adding or removing refrigerant in this tank. So there's a lot of little things that you can show with these trainers, but then we can also go through and do things like scan the labels over here and get do the labels for the AI and make sure that we get the profile correct. On this one over here, I sort of have it open. You can see we have a ball valve here, and this ball valve, what it does is it bypasses the compressor. So if you look right here, there's two lines right here that come out. This goes from the hot gas line through the ball valve and comes back down and dumps it into the suction. So this simulates either a bad reversing valve or a bad compressor. So there's a lot of interesting things you can simulate with these trainers. Also over here, we have a water bucket here, and it's got a RectorSeal electronic sensor that tells us when the system's full, when the water's full, so we don't get water all over the shop. And we've got good filtering on the bottom. We've got an April Air 20 by 20 air cleaner down below that. And air is coming through the bottom of the training unit. So these are really well built, really easy to use with MeasureQuick, and allow you to do all the probe placement and all the testing for charging, heating, cooling, whatever you want to do. So if you're interested in a training unit, just go ahead and reach out to Eric Preston at MeasureQuick, and he'll get you squared away. We can build them pretty much any configuration you want with any equipment you want, but we're going to be setting them up for dual fuel systems, heat pump systems, cooling systems only, whatever you might need for your classroom or your lab. But implementing this into your business has a tremendous ROI. We already know that. We've been doing training for years with companies like Simpson Salute and Eco Plumbers. And we know that when their guys are trained and they have this type of equipment out in front of them, the difference that it makes in the outcome for the employees and the profitability for the company.